45 creative and marketing agencies. That's how many people I've helped implement custom solutions that actually scale your agency. And today I'm going to fully break down on how I personally build custom solutions and specifically in this case, custom client portals from the ground up using AI and Claude Code. So by the end of this video, you'll have a full-on client portal specifically tailored to building and managing your clients from the start. So I'll cover both how to connect clients, how to create logins, and everything else from the ground up. So we're going to get started in the Claude terminal and more specifically the Cowork or Claude sessions. So if you don't have this, just go on your browser. You're going to navigate to a platform called just Claude app. In this case, I have Mac, so I'm just going for Mac, and just download the desktop app. It's this simple. You have two options. Either you press on the option of the Mac OS or the Windows and get that downloaded so you can start by using the terminal. So we're going to navigate this and we're going to give some context. And in this case, I won't actually build it for one of the companies, let's say I want to work with. So I'm going to search for a marketing agency. I know one by hand, just no good. I think they're great. They have great branding. So I'm going to use these as an example for today's video and their client brands that they work with. So these companies. So I'm going to go back into Claude. I'm going to give it some context. So here, feel free to use an voice transcription tool. I'm going to use Whisperflow. So I'm going to give the context. I'm going to say, in this case, if I can open my Whisperflow and then say this. Hey, I want to build a custom client portal specifically tailored to my agency called No Good. I want you to gather the clients I work with, take 5 for maximum, see my services. I want to specifically do this for SEO and organic only. So only make it tailored to the services I would do for that part and not all my services since I have so many. And I want this to be branded by the skill of Dashboard Premium and build the thing for and host it on Vercel for me. And for now, just build a HTML template so I can see how the mockup looks like. Do deep research on my company, see who I work with, and get everything around me so you can capture logos and so on. And I have the company here. I'm going to copy paste the website, which I think was called nogood.io. If I remember correctly, that is correct. And then I'm going to essentially by the skill. I have a skill for this specifically, and I'm going to share. I can share this specific skill down in the video, so you can just grab that from my school community, completely free, like no cost whatsoever. I'm going to share the full skills if you want to copy the exact same thing, and if you don't want to build it yourself, take that. That's completely fine. So just give some context on what you have done specifically here. My tool stack, or ideally you give your daily deliverables and so on. For now, I'll just keep it simple. Just start with the template for now. Let me know if you have any questions. Try to make it similar to my existing one at portal at flowclick.com. I have one of these portals myself for my own company, actually. Hence, I want to like capture that. So I'm going to send this right away, and then this will start chugging away and maybe potentially ask me some questions. And I will basically return to this once it has finished running and then give you the output once Claude has answered. And just like that, within a couple of minutes, essentially created me this nice portal on the right, so you can see here. And yeah, I mean, obviously it's not fully done and there's only an HTML template, which means it's not actual platform that you can use in practice. It's just demo data. It's not fully done. However, you can see how easy this was. Of course, I have my own skills, which I've been working on for a long time. That makes this look very pretty. I mean, it goes based on their clients, it does research, and it does everything else. So, of course, I have a leverage on that part. But essentially, what I did here, it built me the HTML. Hopefully, everything works. You have different buttons and so on. You can press around, you can go with different clients, it gets their logos, and everything that you can essentially need. Now, there are also things which I want to implement here, which are not currently used, and you can search for accounts, keywords, and so on. So In this case, you can of course convert this to a Next.js framework or code instead, which essentially means it can actually be used in practice and while doing this. So if you want to take this to another level, just write, hey, create me this for Next.js. I want this to be live on my Supabase. So on how to do this at scale, I can do this and walk you through just so you are familiar with the frameworks and so on. Say, hey, I want to actually start using this platform for real. We need to convert this to Next.js. I need to connect my Supabase. I need to host this on Vercel, so it's not only local hosted on my computer. But I'm recording a video right now, so I don't have to actually do it. But just give me a quick walkthrough, just so you can know what the client needs to know that is currently watching this video, to actually build out and make it seem very simple because it truly is. Don't share any confidential information, though. Of course, anything that has to do with me, because I'm currently recording a video. I'm going to send this prompt just because it can understand. You can see Next.js, Supabase, and everything. And I send it here. And while this loads, I'm going to actually go back to the web. And there's plenty of different platforms that essentially can upgrade your different variants. So if you want to play around with how it looks like, um, the different kinds of tabs and layouts and so on, there are actually websites that you can download and copy paste. And if you search for 21st Dev, and I've been using this for a while now, I think it's truly great, where you can essentially just use different kinds of frameworks. You can see there's plenty of different things here, and play around with layouts, icons, like magnetic dock, as you can see here, Comet's grid, which is quite interesting, hero sections, and so on. So you can, if you want to find some cool animations, make it a bit more unique and so on, go on this website. There's so many great things you can do here, and I'm not even affiliated at any point. I just like their stuff, and I do get my inspiration a ton from here. To get some nice animations we can just feed to AI. Quite frankly, just make sure it's following the right format and so on. Sometimes you can just copy the prompt and copy the code and so on. So yeah, go into here if you want to like change the navbar, the layout, and so on. So here it is. It gave me like the full actual thing. And it says, okay, convert this mockup to Next.js. And funny enough, you don't have to do this even yourself. You can just ask the AI, like, hey, can you do this for me? You know, I don't want to do this. And it can, because I've done it many, many times over. Then we can connect the Supabase. Supabase, like for those who don't know what this actually means and what this actually trying to do, Next.js is a coding framework that allows you to connect multiple tools and so on. Very straightforward. Essentially, HTML isn't really that functional when you have to build a live platform that works and connects data and so on. Then Supabase is a Postgres platform where essentially just can store data in a secure environment and have everything in one place. Can highly recommend checking that out. And then hosting it with Vercel and GitHub and so on. If you're not technical, this essentially means just hosting it somewhere. And then you can just change the basic DNS settings or settings overall and point that to your main domain. So for example, my client portal currently lies at, if I open this, I search for portal.flockly.com, I will guess essentially have access to my own client portal. And I have to log in, and all my clients have their own separate login informations. You can basically write your email, your password, or if you want to use a magic link, that's completely fine as well. And this is still pointed to my main domain. So if I just post on flockly.com, I will get redirected to my main domain, and so on. So everything's connected under one tree. But going back here, that's it. Those are the 3 steps here. Then, if you want to actually make this in practice, the thing I have done here, and you don't have to do the exact same thing, but I've connected my project management systems. And I want to kind of walk you through this as well, because I think it's quite relevant overall on how to do this. So connect my project management systems. Me, I'm a big fan of ClickUp, so I use ClickUp. However, if you use something else, Asana, Trello, Monday, whatever, go into here. Go into search for like monday.com API key. You go into the authentication and you essentially give it the permissions so it can connect the platform here and connect the tokens. So you'll have an API key that you give to the Claude Code. Say, hey, I want a direct correlation update as soon as something gets updated in my project management system and has the tiers, it automatically detects on how to do that across the platform as well. And I'm going to show you how this works in practice. So here I have my project management system called ClickUp. If you're using anything else, that's completely fine. It works for all the platforms basically the exact same way. So I have a list here, and I named this the client, of course. So I put the clients in here. And then as soon as I update a task in here, it essentially portrays that automatically within my system. So I can say like, okay, do keyword research. And I usually like to keep it a bit more vague or like bigger picture thinking because clients doesn't have to necessarily see like all the exact steps, but I think the more depth you can give, the better, if that makes sense. And then any big milestones you want to include that. Once you have that done, give it the API key and give that to Claude Code. And say what you want to do. It's that straightforward. You give it the key and then ask to connect it, and that's it. And that's how you do it. And that's how I've done it for my patterns as well. And it's that straightforward. So that's basically it. Ask Claude Code, download the app, and make it build everything for you. And you can get a very, very nice looking template just like this without. And if you want to go a step further, which I've done here, you can see the stats. Those stats you can just give to Google Cloud Console or the API keys you're using, like in Ahrefs or anything how you have to do, like local dominator, if you're doing anything, GA4, Google Business Profile. Give it the API keys, say that you want to connect it, and it will automatically fetch daily updates through Supabase and store the information there, and then portray that in the dashboard in the real time. That's it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Super straightforward. You just have to say to Claude whatever you want to do, and it will do the thing for you. So you can download the skill in my school. It's free, no costs, and you can just build the exact same thing yourself. And that's it. So good luck and enjoy.